What happens if he surrenders?
Toranaga-sama will be sentenced to death.
拙者に万人の首を取らせてくださりませ。
なんか反面。
ご決心はつきましたか。刀を血に濡らして戦いまするか。
我らの中にはこれより先などないものもおるぞ。
FX's Shogun.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to my Shogun Episode 7 preview breakdown. With Episode 6 now in the books, we learned a great deal about some of our characters' histories and backstory, and in particular, the friendship that Ochiba and Mariko once shared, while also learning a little bit more about the relationship between Mariko and her father, and how Mariko believed her marriage to Buntaro was her father sending her away. And we also see how Toranaga and company are getting ready to go on the offensive, as they have agreed to enact the dreaded Crimson Sky plan. So it looks like each episode is bringing us closer and closer to the inevitable war. The Episode 7 trailer starts off with Toranaga meeting up with one of his new allies, and we did hear in the previous episode Hiromatsu suggest to Toranaga that he reaches out to his brother for help. They are in dire need of new men, especially now after the earthquake has claimed thousands of lives. And with them now enacting Crimson Sky, a plan to assault the capital of Osaka, they are going to need as many men as they can possibly muster. We also hear a voiceover of Blackthorne asking Mariko what exactly will happen to Toranaga if he surrenders, with Mariko stating that surrendering would lead to his death, and most likely the death of his entire clan, Blackthorne included. And at this point, surrendering is not an option, especially now with Ochiba and Ishido firmly in control of Osaka and the Council of Regents, having killed the one regent that was even slightly opposing Ishido. But next, we get a very interesting scene between Toranaga, Mariko, and Buntaro, with Buntaro asking Toranaga for permission to take the barbarian's head, obviously referring to Blackthorne, which I imagine is a request that Toranaga will most likely not be granting Buntaro. We did start to see a little bit of a different side to Buntaro in Episode 6, as he was describing the hardships of his marriage to Toranaga. And you definitely get the sense that the jealousy is continuing to fester within Buntaro. So it's going to be interesting to see how this scenario plays out, especially considering in the next scene when we see what appears to be some sort of altercation between Yabushigi and Blackthorne on the beach, with Buntaro also arriving and putting his sword to Blackthorne's throat. And I love how the trailer kind of sets it up as though maybe Toranaga did give Buntaro permission to take Blackthorne's head, as we see this scene directly following the previous one, but I get the feeling there is a little bit more going on here than meets the eye, and I do think people are going to be very surprised when they see some of Buntaro's future actions. He has some really incredible scenes coming up. Up until this point, Buntaro hasn't been the biggest of fan favorites, but I do get the feeling the audience is going to really appreciate some of his upcoming scenes, and may even be a bit surprised as to where his story arc is going. But next, we see a scene of Toranaga, his son, Hiromatsu, and Buntaro in the woods, discussing their next move, with Toranaga's son asking what he has decided, and if they will indeed be dying with blood on their swords, followed by a line from Toranaga stating that there is no future for some of us, followed by the final shot in the trailer of what appears to be horns blowing in the distance as we see what looks to be a sizable force approaching, if the torches in the distance are any indication. So it looks like things are really starting to heat up, and I get the feeling we are going to get some very nice action over the next 4 episodes. And of course, with Crimson Sky on the horizon, things are undoubtedly going to get bloody. But overall, I am really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the series plays out, as we are getting closer and closer to the final confrontation between Toranaga and his enemies. But that is going to do it for our Shogun Episode 7 trailer breakdown. And definitely leave your thoughts and comments down below. How exactly do you think the scenario between Blackthorne and Buntaro is going to fare? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit a like on your way out and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And don't forget to come and join the discussion live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel as we go live right before the new episode of Shogun. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and a huge thank you to all of the channel members, and we will see you on the next one.
What happens if he surrenders?
Toranaga様 will be sentenced to death.
拙者に万人の首を取らせてくださりません。
I'll go on then.
ご決心はつきましたか。刀を血に濡らして戦いまするか。
我らの中にはこれより先などないものもおるぞ。
FX's Shogun.